What's up, everybody? Another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live. Just got back, round two, going to Philly. Just went there for a little, let's call it a Thursday to Tuesday expedition. I just literally just got back off the train, helped my sister pack up with her husband to go have their baby. So, congrats. It's going to be exciting. Um, yeah, just want to come on here and talk a little bit, recap my weekend in Philly and talk about it a little bit. Jersey, Philly, little little cruise. Thursday I got in, just chill with my sister, my niece, nephew, and brother-in-law, and just had a good time eating crazy food, talking shit, playing Tiger Woods a video game. Um, it was all about really going Friday to the NLCS game. I had a chance to go get a ticket for that game, and same seats as I went to the NLDS, that right field. Just so action packed out there, so many home runs, so many fouls go right to the section. There's just hype section. We're all standing up, going wild. So, um, just recapping the game. Obviously, another amazing Philly win. Now, by the time this is live, we'll be in the World Series. So crazy to see what that team's done. Starting off with 89 wins in a 162 game season, just making the playoffs by the skin of their teeth, getting in, beating two. I won't call them juggernauts, but the Braves. Braves are a powerhouse. Cardinals very good. Beat them both. Beat the Padres. And won the series. So see what happens. Friday night there was definitely some tidbits came out of that. At the game, it was me, my nephew Bobby, his dad Bob, and his dad Bob. So I went with three generations of Bobs and myself. Um, got there pretty early, walk around, do some laps, just sit there, chill. I don't mind going to those baseball games early, just sitting out there, relaxing, getting in line for some food, getting your bearings right. Game, like I said, was incredible. We were sitting, I think, like the fifth through eighth seat. So we had four empty seats to the right of us somehow. I was wondering if they got put on StubHub and someone bought them and just didn't show up, or someone couldn't sell. I don't know what the case was, but they were empty. And I was like, man, it just feels weird when you're in a huge stakes playoff game. You got empty seats next to you. So eventually, like four, I'm not going to call them little kids, but they were high school kids. And a trend I've always noticed, I don't know if people also notice, but like when you were younger in school, let's say you were in fourth grade, and then you would go to fifth grade the next year, like the fifth graders would look so much bigger and like more mature than you did, and then the grade that came after you always looked younger and more immature than what you did when you were in that grade. So these kids were between ninth and 12th grade, and I mean they seemed like little squeaky nose, squeaky voice, baby face kids, and they were sitting here, next to us, those four seats, and then in front of them there was kids in similar age group, and right away they're just I was calling them Junior Delco because for those of you not familiar, like Delco is just that I can't really explain it if you're not from there, but it's just this area, this vibe, this accent that cannot be mistaken. And Jeet, like these people instead of saying did you eat, they'll say Jeet, and they'll just call people dickheads and use guys. And I mean, I definitely have my fair share of run-ins with the Delco crowd, if you will, when I was there. And these little kids, right away they were starting shit with the kids in front of them, poking them, hitting them with the rally towels, calling them names, and like so they were going back and forth. But then they started talking. I was using my little eavesdropping ear to pick up on some nuggets, and these four kids pretty much said they snuck into the stadium. They live right around the corner, and they sneak into all the regular season games by just going up to the ticket booth, and they have like the stub, the scannable little QR code in their phone, and then they have some kind of like app that makes a noise. It's the same noise that when you get scanned in. Um, Personally, I didn't believe it. I feel like these were just kids who had parents who were probably sitting in ruinous boxes, and they probably just ventured out, looked for some open seats. But they were really committed to the lie. They were telling us for 10 minutes, and the way they said it, there's these little cocky kids that wearing braces and everything. And I would just ask them questions, and they would just reply back to me saying "dickhead" and calling these kids "dickhead." It was honestly hilarious. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone buys that. Sneaking into a playoff game like that with just a fake QR code and just scan it like that when it's not the real. I don't know. But between that and then the Phillies win, and then we're exiting the stadium. And Philly, let's be honest, it's a football town. Like we have four major teams there, but the Eagles trump everything. Like it's everybody lives, breathes, and dies by the Eagles. That's we bleed green. It's the main team. So usually, like when you're at other sporting events, you'll do the Eagles chant, the EAGLES Eagles. I've done it at Flyers games. I've done it at Sixers games. I've done it at Phillies games. I've done them at Eagles games. You do them at all. You do them in the parking lot. You just on the way out, the way in. It's almost like a mating call in Philly. Like it's what we do. So my nephew and I are walking out, and we heard one earlier on, right when we were exiting our section. So then we started walking a little bit, and we're like, let's start an Eagles chant. So we started one. We got a good crowd in with us, obviously, and then there's this angry senior Delco behind us, and the junior Delcos earlier on. We're a little more playful and fun. Mr. Senior Delco was definitely more aggressive and had some drinks in him and looking to start something. I could feel it. I could smell it. You could see how people, their demeanor, the way they're talking, the way they address you. So pretty much like he's like talking right at Bobby, who's my nephew, who's like 17 years old, and he's or 16 years old, chirping in his ear about you must be from Jersey. That's such a Jersey thing to do. And then it just like keeps going on and on. So then I just, turn around. I'm not looking to start a fight, but I'm not drinking, nothing. I'm just sitting there chilling, but I'm just sticking up for my younger nephew who's getting picked on by a grown man. So I'm just turning around and saying, what's the issue? And well, the issue is it's a Phillies week and Eagles are on a bye week and you fucking guys are chanting the Eagles chant. Like, let the Phillies have their time. And I'm like, dude, what's the matter? We're a fan of all four of the teams. We're supporting all. Well, fucking don't be chanting Eagles chant at a Phillies game, bro. What do you guys live in Jersey? I was like, yeah, I'm from Cherry Hill and he lives in Winona. Exactly. That's what I fucking thought. And I was like, are you fucking serious, dude? Meanwhile, this guy is literally holding a child on his shoulders, picking a fight with another child. I mean, how and my brother-in-law Bob, he sees me kind of face to face with this guy. And like I said, I was not doing anything. I was just talking to the guy, standing up for my nephew, and trying to understand where the animosity would come from to start a fight with a younger kid. And he's all riled up about Philadelphia sports fans doing an Eagles chant. Uh, you just can't make it up, Like the people where I'm from are such. I mean, obviously, you can't loop everyone into this. It's just a lot of people you run in with. You go to New Jersey and it's like, holy shit, these people are assholes. I'm from there. I lived pretty much my whole entire life there. And I went to CVS with my brother-in-law or Target. He went to go pick up a prescription and pick up a few things. And I was just sitting there watching the interactions, and I was just baffled. Like the pharmacy, they're just getting ready to open, and there's people tapping on the glass. The system wasn't up yet, and there was people freaking out. Like just all the littlest things to get upset about. And you go to a bakery and you just hear the way some of these guys talk to people. It's just, and I consider myself like very respectful and nice, and I grew up with so many people that are like that. But you grow up in that area, and I'm just trying to the way that people drive there. It's just like on Sunday, I was over with my buddies and we were just chilling all day. Raining out, cold out, super dark out when I leave, and just I was like, man, I'm getting ready to go to war. Like just driving on 295 there is just insane. And I don't know, just you're away from it, and I still love being there, but I'm like, man, the people here really are fucking dickheads. Just to use a little Delco word, dickhead. Um, and going back to those kids, like they were literally there was four kids in front of them, like I said. There was a small one who was significantly smaller than all of them, and that's the one the kids started picking on right away. They saw their fresh meat, and they started picking right away. They were talking so much shit to the kid, literally hitting him in the head with their rally towels, and then like the kid would say something, and the younger kids behind him who were instigating would say stuff like "Take the dick out of your mouth," and just incredible. I mean, I can't imagine any age, let alone in high school, going out to a Phillies game like that, or any sporting event, or even a high school game, and just starting fights with people being so rude. It's just crazy. Um, So yeah, Friday night was great. Saturday we woke up. I was telling them all. I was like devoted to watching the UFC, huge card. Kurt and I were gonna buy it. Just split it on two separate TVs. Did that. Had a great time. Great card. Some results that I wasn't super pleased with, but sometimes the chips are gonna fall where they may. I wanted to see Charles win. I was happy that Aljamain won, but the way he won with TJ, you know, proclaiming and admitting that he had shoulder issues and separated 20 or popped it out 20 plus times in camp. I heard Luke Thomas earlier today. I was scrolling through something on Instagram and saw him just talking about how you did the fans dirty and the fans deserve more. And I agree. You're out of the sport for 2 years. You're caught cheating, and then you come back. And granted, he's probably not going to get this opportunity again, a title shot. But to go in there with that kind of injury, with a minute he posted on his arm to fall down and break fall, it popped out. And so you knew the fight was never going to be competitive, especially someone who focuses on grappling as much as Aljamain Sterling does. Yeah. Um, Saturday, the day went on. Phillies had a night game that night, and I was trying to get in touch with my other sister to come over and hang out with us. So we were able to get her and my niece over. So I have two of my sisters there, niece, nephew, other niece, all watching the Phils. My nephew had a little bonfire outside where him and the boys were turning up, getting loose on the Mike's Hard Lizzo. Um, Yeah, I mean, another crazy game. The Phillies went down 4-0 in that game, I think, and we were all like, "Oh man, I'm so happy we went to the game last night, not that game." But of course, the Fightins end up coming back, another crazy comeback, and had a giant Sicilian pie, which I also had the night before. Now that I've had that so many times, my stomach just brutalized. The thickness of the dough with the cheese. For those who don't know, the Sicilian's like giant square pie, and the one I love is made at a place called Pat's, and it's just fucking fat as shit. Caused me real problems. Sunday, we went over. Myself went over to my buddy Jason's. We were planning it all week, trying to get something going. Um, so I was able to do. Unfortunately, we want to get a little reunion pod on there, but when you got four dudes together and three of them are, you know, drinking the sauce. Well, I drank a little twisted tea and some kind of hard lemonade that was getting me ripped. But they were drinking, the teas all day. They were smoking the herb. They were just doing Lord's work, and also degenerate gamblers, I must say. So having all four of us together in a room trying to record thoughts, it wouldn't have been very conducive for the listeners. But having said that, I'm very sorry I couldn't get it on here because it was entertaining. It was fun. We had the Red Zone on one TV. We had the Phillies on the other TV. Muting football, of course. Phillies were taking precedent in my world. Maybe not in the gamblers' worlds, but this is my world. Everywhere I go, everything is Fred. Um, yeah, Sunday we stayed there pretty much all day and multiple times. There's a couple little things that I have. We got a group chat going, established, and everyone who knows me knows I have a certain way about me, and I like certain things a certain way, and maybe I can be a little difficult, but to me, I'm always prepared. I'm bringing the stuff that I want or anticipating the stuff I'm gonna want. So I had mentioned multiple times to my good old buddy, God, my throat's starting to sting, about, I have this is my words like verbatim. I have a 64-ounce Yeti full of ice and water. Do I need to be concerned about refills? And everyone was just him and Kurt and my friend Sharif, they were all laughing. But I was being serious. I knew I was going to be there all day and I'm going to be drinking water, especially if there's a little alcohol. It wasn't much, but whatever the case is with alcohol, I'm always mixing in a crazy hydration ratio with water to booze. We'll say one sip of booze, 4 sips of water. So we got a 4-to-1 water to booze ratio. Tremendous. Never feel bad the next day, All these young dopes that want to act crazy and just drink nothing but beer or seltzer or wine. You know what I'm talking about. You're going to have a hangover the next day and you're going to be complaining. But I have mentioned the need for water refills. Didn't really get addressed. And then, the day before, I think I said water station. Just to put it out there like, hey, what's going on with the water? Nothing. So the day comes by, Freddie tokes, Freddie smokes. Freddie jokes. I'm slinging jokes. I'm eating food. I'm drinking a lot of water. I'm smoking a lot of sheep, and the water's running dry. And our buddy, one of our friends, had to go in for a little. Had to go home and address some needs. I don't know, whatever the case may be. But while he was gone, I didn't really bring up the water situation, and this is where I want to get the listeners' take. Yeah, I mean, I know I probably should have asked, hey, do you have a Brita? Do you have this? But as I walked up a few times in the bathroom, I'm doing my rounds. Beautiful house, very well kept, very clean. But I don't see on the fridge like a little water station. So I'm getting a little concerned. So I text my friend, I'm like, can you bring a bottle of water back, please? He brings the bottle of water back, and homeowner Jason sees this and he is not too pleased with me. He starts yelling and screaming. You couldn't just fucking ask. I have a Brita. I was just trying to say, I wasn't trying to be intrusive, and I know it's one of my best friends. It's not like being intrusive. I know I'm weird and in the wrong. I should just like said, hey, can I get some water? I didn't. I just asked my buddy to bring me some water. So this is one of the many texts, and I told him I would apologize for my quirks and my ticks if I can help it, but I just can't. I don't know. I need some water right now. God damn it. But yeah, so that's kind of weird. Instead of asking one of your best friends, can you just have some water? Because you didn't notice any, you text someone else to bring you some water. Water. See, I'm trying to make a concerted effort to do that. The other thing, I don't think I'm too weird in this is, well, I might be weird in one regard. Maybe I shouldn't admit it, but whatever. Um, the outdoor piddles. I love taking piddle breaks outdoors. You eat some kibble, you drink some food, or drink some water, eat some kibble, and then you got to take a piddle. The nature piddles have always been wonderful for me. Um, just to go out, especially in New Jersey, the fall weather when it's cold out, just you go out, take your little piddle, you just get the wind blowing, just feels natural. So multiple times I'm going to the bathroom and I'm just like, man, I'd rather go outside. So a couple times I do go outside because like if I go somewhere for let's say 2 hours, I'm probably peeing 6 times. Just absurd. That bladder of yours is absurd. Some of my friends say, but for those of you who aren't aware of that, Adam Levine, Maroon 5, all the memes going around. If you read the messages, I think I did it on here, where that body of yours is absurd. So now I'm always just saying stuff and trying to quote that. So that bladder of mine is literally absurd. And it truly is. But I was out there peeing outside multiple times. And I remember one time Jay was on one side of the yard, I was on the other. The big glass tip joint, which is big in New Jersey now. You get these 2.5 gram pre roll joints with a big glass tip. And they get you foxed up to all beliefs. I was believing in the Lord Jesus. And I remember Jay at one point was, well, just so everyone knows, I'm not using my dick hand for the blunt. And I'm like, well, just so everyone knows, I'm wearing a fanny pack that has my hand sanitizer in there. But anyways, I was thinking about the outdoor piddles, and I'm probably gonna catch some flack here and some judgment. This is what we do. If I have a choice to go into a bathroom and just be able to sit down and take a nice piddle, Larry David style, I like doing it. Especially if you're at a guest house, you don't have to worry about any missed piddle. Especially with me, as sometimes I got like a weird spraying accessory where it just kind of goes all over the place. So if I can sit down and eliminate the piddle spray, it's a win-win. When you're outside, you don't have to worry about that. And I just think it's a glorious retreat. You know, you go back into the real world with the porcelain. You gotta be a scientist with the angles, and sometimes I just don't have it in me. So outdoor piddles for the win all day. Nature piddles all day, baby. Monday, last full day there. Wake up, going. I think the other day I went to this little boutique. It's got two suites. Shout out Two Sweet Boutique in New Jersey. Unbelievable cupcakes, muffins, donuts, not donuts, like breads and cakes and all that kind of stuff. So lemon blueberry cupcake, little cannoli, mini cannoli cookies, couple little kibbles and bits that were really just amazing. Ate some sweets, you know. Got my favorite place, Chicks. That's 2 days before that. Was really kind of checking off everything I wanted. Dipping dots at the Phillies game. Then last night, Monday night, I went to the Sixers game. Got a win against Indiana pretty easily. So in the last 2 weeks, I went to the Phillies NLDS game 4 win, Eagles Cowboys Sunday Night Football win, NLCS game 4, I believe it was, or maybe it was game 3. NLCS game 3 win, and Sixers Pacers win. So I was 4-0 in my little Philly excursion. It's all over with now. You know, it was my little escape from reality. Now I'm back to living like a gypsy. As one of my buddies said, living out of bags, pulling. You know, as you can see here, I got the iPad set up on top of my suitcase for a little article I wanted to cover real quick. Now that I mentioned that, but yeah, I went to the Sixers game. Took the train this morning. Now that I'm a Philly train expert, you know, I was able to bring the sheep that's legal back home. That medical sheep, which is just absolutely tremendous. So yeah, I'm back in Virginia. Like I said, my sister's getting induced today, so we're gonna be hopefully going there tomorrow to meet baby Michael, and all is well. And I'm just hoping for everything to go well. Unfortunately, she was due like last, I think it was the 18th, and just wasn't able to naturally go into labor. I know she's probably a little stressed about that and upset, but they always say everything happens for a reason, right? So that's what we're hoping for, and I'm trying to stay here as long as I can. You know, as long as I've been working probably about a month now, and when you still got all your bills and expenses, you know, your car insurance, your health insurance, your car payments, uh, your subscriptions, all these different things that are still getting billed every week, every month. Peloton payments, you know, right behind me, but mine's sitting in a garage that I can't use right now. So, yeah, I'm trying to stay here as long as I can, while I can, to help her out, whether it's, you know, walking the dogs, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry, any of the little things that are going to alleviate some stress. So that's that. Um, Definitely the one story. Let's make sure I got everything. Angry Pillheads, Junior Delco, Senior Delco, Phillies. Phillies obviously clinch a World Series. Bryce Harper, just absolute Philly legend. He's on the Mount Rushmore. I was saying the other day to my friend, Joel Embiid City up until now, and now it's Bryce's. You know, Jalen Hurts was flirting with it. Bryce Harper just took it. He's the king of the city now, in my opinion. Um, oh, and real quick, my train ride back was a little tough because I had this huge suitcase packed to the brim with, you know, I had a Phillies pillow pet, Philly fanatic. I had a dozen bagels. I had tons and tons of fucking scrub daddies, scrub mommies, because I didn't mention that, but I went to the scrub daddy headquarters in New Jersey. For those of you who know, I'm just the biggest fan of it. I mean, sponges. When you're in the kitchen as much as I am, when you're cooking and cleaning as much as I am, it's a necessity. I don't want to judge people when I go to their houses for their sponge game, but it's at this point it's scrub mom me or bust. And I made sure to bring over my buddy Jason one as a little gift, but yeah, my bag was a nightmare. I had Philly soft pretzels, I had sponges, and I had pillow pets, and I had pillows, and I had bagels on top of all my clothes. Which brings me to my next point. You know, I sat next to this. How do I do this? Sat next to this nice little eh, lady. She was just sitting there, and you know, after I sat down and claimed my seat next to her, I started noticing she's not wearing like closed-toed shoes, and I was like, oh boy. Um, I mean, seriously, plane rides and stuff. I'm a believer. Like, if you want to wear like I'm wearing the slides right now. If you want to wear socks with those, that's cool. You're covering it. Like, I just don't believe in really wearing just like flip flops and stuff when you're sitting next to it because feet are just gross, and we don't want that pungent odor just making its way off and me to get a waft of. So really appreciate it if you practice some respect with that and be mindful, people. You know, wear closed toe shoes. This lady not only was wearing open toed shoes, but the minute the girl next, like it's 2 and 2, so the minute a seat next to me cleared, I moved over to that row. And then this bitch fucking full on was laying up with her feet like hanging in the aisle. I'm just like, God, I eat my pretzel and I see these dirty little feet hanging out. So I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, so just on these plane rides and such, train rides, practice a little human decency. Don't be having your feet just out and about. for me to fucking sniff. Last thing I want to cover, I don't know if this is real. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not, but I saw it making some airwaves and I thought I could cover it. It's a little light end of the pod. Um, Origin, the headline, pretty amazing. Man pretends to be cow in a milking competition, gets jacked off for hours. So where do we go with this? Um, the guy's photographed, and he's got his mugshot, and it's already saying label satire, but I still think this is funny. It says Carl Twinley of Beaumont, Texas. Poor guy's getting his name dragged through. Here I go again. Has been arrested on charges of public indecency and masturbation by deception. Mr. Twinley posed as a dairy cow during the local 4-H milk competition. Carl was milked by a total of 13 contestants before his ruse was discovered. Not a genuine news story. I think it was genius, but fake. Having said that, only got one Gaps episode left to air, and then I'm clean out, so I'm going to do my best to get them churning out. I'm really trying to stay consistent with the Monday, Friday, or Tuesday, Friday schedule. It's proving a little difficult at times right now, but churning them out when I can. I think it's a good way to end it. Philly sports on fire right now. Bryce Harper, king of Philly. Let's go Birds. Let's go Sixers. Let's go Flyers. Fly Eagles fly, baby. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, the Verbal Garbage Man is out.